I'm sorry, I'm just waiting.
You're gonna start it.
Oh,
Hey guys, welcome back to the Honestly Noted podcast. Woo! Today I'm here with
Jen. Rog. Why do you want my last name?
Guys, today we're gonna be diving into kind of a deeper topic: sexuality and representation. Say what? What is that? What does that even mean?
It's a good question.
You act like you don't know why you're on this podcast right now.
I'm just here for the fun of it.
I'm just here for the show.
Yeah, I'm just here for the show.
Jen, you are the show.
Oh, I know it too.
Guys, we're gonna be talking about sexuality and our experience, I think.
Yeah. We have totally different experiences.
Yeah, we do. First, to start off, we should probably talk about LGBTQ and what that phrase means.
Well, I got the first letter. Lesbian, no.
Do you want me to cut that or no?
No, you can keep that in there.
We're not claiming letters. Okay, all right, no. So it stands for lesbian.
Bisexual.
There's a G.
Oh. You cut the kids out.
T-Mobile, LG. What does the G stand for?
Gay. What's the B stand for?
It feels like one of those door episodes. B stands for bisexual.
The T stands for transgender.
Q stands for queer. Out of those like kind of letters or labels, how do you like to be defined? Like, do you like it when people refer to you as like lesbian or?
I think that's like what I am. Like obviously like that's what like I identify as. Mm-hmm. But like then again though, like I don't think that's like all of what I am. Like when I was like younger and stuff, when I was like still figuring it out, mm-hmm. It wasn't like this is what like I am, like my set, like, you know.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm always I don't like putting labels on things, I guess.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's different. No, I get that. I mean, I think I never really liked the word lesbian. I think I just had a really negative connotation associated with it because it sounds like a lizard. And I do not like reptiles. Amphibians.
Well, I mean,
they're just slimy. And for what?
I always just say I like girls, but you know, I guess that works too.
I mean, I think it's totally fine for people to be super open about it.
Yeah. And
kind of announce it. Like, I think there was a lot of hate and like ridicule surrounding when people would come out.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, like Pride Parade and stuff.
I mean, yeah, my coming out story was definitely. Yeah. I never really like fully came out. I mean, obviously I did, but I mean, I came out to my parents just having my first girlfriend and being like, this is who I like, and then it was just end of story. Like it was never a thing for me to be like, oh, I need to tell you something before I, you know. Mm-hmm. It was just like, well, this is my girlfriend since.
Oh, that's interesting. So was it like, did the environment already feel so comfortable where you felt like you didn't have to, or were you already so comfortable with yourself? Like, what was that experience like for you growing up in the LGBTQ community?
Well, I feel like I've always had like a very loving home, like in a loving environment. Mm-hmm. And so I never really thought that like, I guess like loving someone would like change the way my family loves me, I guess. Mm-hmm. I didn't feel like I had to like hide anything.
Yeah.
But then, like, me having my first girlfriend showed me, like, all about, like, the LGBTQ world. I guess you could say I lived underneath a rock when I was younger.
You are a rock. Jen is a rock.
Okay.
You know what?
Yeah, so I didn't just live under a rock. I was the rock.
Was it ever difficult for you to be so open about it with other people who weren't your family? Did it feel differently for you?
Not too much. Like honestly, I don't really tell many people. Like, It's just sort of there. Like, if I have a girlfriend, then... you know that's, you know, whatever my choice is. But, like, unless you, like, ask me, I'm not just gonna be like, oh, I need to tell you this.
Yeah. No,
and, like, even, like, friends I, like, make now, it's just not something I'm like, oh, you know, I'm queer, I'm lesbian.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the way it works.
Why did you do it with the eyebrow?
Oh, you know, I'm queer, I'm lesbian.
Yeah. I think that's something, like, I kind of, like, admire about you is that, like, you had that confidence like from the get-go.
Yeah.
And honestly, it makes sense why people are still struggling now with understanding or accepting whatever because of the environment we live in or the environment they are surrounded by, you know what I mean? So I think there has been like a lot of progression, but my experience like growing up was very different. Like I didn't have that immediate confidence in just embracing who I was. So it was more like if there was any like homophobic language, slurs, whatever, I would kind of go along with it. Like, yeah, gay people suck. And like, yeah, which they don't.
Honestly, like, just ignoring it is, like, for me anyway, is pretty easy. Like, I guess I don't let other people's opinion, like, really influence what I think or, like...
Like, I had already known I was like gay from the get-go. Like, was it kind of the same with you? Like, I knew immediately.
Yeah.
We really need to explain.
What do you mean? I don't think we need to explain.
I don't think we need to explain that. The biggest thing for me was more representation. So there were a lot of times where I kind of struggled with finding people who I felt like related to me or like I fit in with. I think in my head I always knew that there were like other gay people in the world because that's just a thing.
Yeah.
But it's like when you're not surrounded by those people all the time, like you don't even know if they're out there.
Honestly, and not a lot of my friends are.
Yeah.
Like, I get most of my friends from sports and stuff that, like, and that's, like, the group that I say I would more identify with. And I guess that brings back, like, to, like, the beginning about saying how, like, I don't let, like, my sexuality, like, identify who I am. I think some people do, though, more. Like, want that to be, like, more of, like, their friend group but it's never really been a priority, I guess, for me.
For sure. Yeah, and I get that. I think for me it was more hard to imagine, like, as a kid, when you're, like, the whole point of being a kid, like, you're just trying to fit in. And, like, that kind of continues in the rest of your life until you, like, gain security.
I don't think I ever tried to fit in.
Yeah. Well, no, that's cool. See, they're standout people, but it's, like...
Yeah.
But when you're not secure within yourself, like, when you just don't have that stability and you're looking for other people, it's hard.
I mean, it's like middle school, like LGBT, like Pride Club and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like doing that was something like for me that I felt was like, I think just like getting to know like people in like our school specifically in a place where, I mean, our school isn't very diverse.
Yeah, no.
So like getting like into that like sort of group of people and just like learning more about the LGBTQ like community.
Yeah.
Was good for me.
It was hard for me to feel represented in, like, media. So, like, I think one of the questions I have for you is, like, when you weren't fully represented, like, just in general, and, like, your sexuality wasn't represented in, like, shows or movies, how did you perceive that as a kid? Because I don't know if it was the same for you, but when I would watch Disney stuff as a kid, I would be the prince. Because that's who I, like, related with, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I guess, I'd probably say the same thing.
Who did you relate with? Like...
I mean...
Like, I was the frog. That's you, Jen. That's you. I was like that tree in the back.
No, I mean, yeah, I guess I probably always have like identified more with like the male, like,
the tree.
Especially like in like Disney kid shows, and like there really isn't that representation. It's
Yeah.
always like guy,
always, like,
the girl,
Yeah.
maybe a frog, but
No, for sure. And I think what was hard for me was like, so not only like did I not really know anybody growing up who was like gay until later, but I never saw like any actual families. So it wasn't until like 3 years ago that I actually like met my first like lesbian family who had kids and who adopted, and that was like huge. Like that was very impactful for a child who had never seen that, who didn't know if that lifestyle was possible.
you got further than I have. I haven't seen that yet.
Overall.
I haven't seen
Oh, no.
I haven't seen a lesbian. Yeah, I haven't seen a male. Yeah, no.
What are they?
Yeah, like, how does that work, Hannah?
Where do you get it? Yeah. Well, and it was like crazy too, because it like I had been working like with childcare, and so it was like two lesbian moms, and then I realized they were together, and I like did a double take, like, what? And just because like as a kid, it was always really apparent to me, like, yeah, 100% I'm gonna have kids, 100%,
Oh, same.
100%.
Same. I'll have like 5 of them and like 20 dogs.
What's with all the dogs?
I like dogs.
You would be the type to be like, this is my kid, and it's just a dog.
And I've always pictured that though. Like saying like, it's never been like a question for me or like how. I was just like, is this gonna happen?
Yeah, exactly. It's just gonna happen. But I think like there was something that kind of like flipped in my mind, like, oh, that can happen. Like that's real. Were there any like shows or films that you felt represented sexuality?
Like trying to think, but not really. I mean, when I was younger.
No. Like now, like because I know there is a lot more representation.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I've been watching. Okay, actually, recently I have been watching The Fosters.
Oh yeah.
And so
that was
definitely
cool.
like there's a lot of diversity in that.
Yeah. That's right. Because it's like two.
Yeah, it's two moms. Yeah.
That was cool.
And like they have like their whole like coming out story and how like the one mom like she had a husband.
Yeah.
And like her father didn't accept her at all and like so like for me I guess like not necessarily having like the same like story as they do, but just seeing like how their family and like how they adopt all these kids and stuff, like how they're I don't know how many kids they have, like 5 or 6, just like how their life came together. And
even like if it's in a show, it is crazy like what we surround ourselves with. That's kind of what we believe to be our reality, or that's like it's a vision. It gives you a visual association with
what's possible.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I remember. I think one thing I took from that, it might have been the first show where I felt like represented in, like when I saw The Family.
Oh really?
Yeah. But they do a cool thing, like the kids of the lesbian couple, they would call their moms, like instead of mom like, and dad, it was moms.
It was moms, but then like they also like the one's like mama and the one's mom.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Interesting, okay.
That's cool. I would be mom. Just call me mom.
You don't want me mama?
Or bomb. The bomb. Please do not refer to me as mama. No, I thought it was cool though, and like there was one scene where like the dude's like, moms are gonna be so mad at you. Like it was just so funny. It's just plural. Like what?
Just like it resonating like in your head. It's like
So there was one film though that was like hit a little too close to home, and I was like, whoa. And the girl was Asian, which isn't like a big deal, but it is a big deal. It is a freaking big deal. Because it was like me on screen. Like she had the low ponytail, she wore glasses. I have to wear glasses now because I can't.
Her glasses?
See? Yeah, like reading glasses. No, but I think it was called like half something, like the half of something. I think, but it's on Netflix. It's really good. And what's even cooler is that I think they shot in Seattle, like they shot in parts of Seattle or maybe Spokane, Washington. I can't remember, but they shot in like some places in Washington. The protagonist, she was lesbian and she was Asian. And I was like, whoa! It's freaking Asian. It's Asian.
Diversity over there.
Yeah. Okay. I know, and it was cool. And it was like one of those classic like teen films where it's just like a guy, or there's a girl who wants to talk to a guy who wants to talk to a girl, whatever, but they're too afraid to, so then they hire someone else to do it. And so then like the Asian girl would like talk to her friend's crush, who was a dude, but then she ended up like she already liked that girl, and then they started dating.
Do you watch that like now?
What do you mean?
Like, have you seen it?
Yeah, I saw the movie. That's how I know all of this. I watched the movie.
That's a lot of info.
Well, yeah, because it was. You're an ass. Yeah, because it was cool. It felt really representational.
Yeah. So, yeah. I really like don't watch that many like things that are like representational of like. Yeah. The LGBTQ like lifestyle.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it can be hard when it's like, I don't know. I don't like it when I don't like when any shows are like cheesy. Stop with the cheese.
I like Hallmark romance movies.
You would.
Oh yeah.
That is so opposite to her personality.
Like Christmas Hallmark romance movies. It's always the same thing. Boy meets girl. Something is like a little different.
There's a freaking horse in it, I swear.
Oh, it has to be like a horse. There has to be. There also is like some like conflict, but then like the conflict gets like over, and in the end they always fall in love. I love that, and I guess like in those I would be the guy. I guess.
The fact that you like Hallmark movies,
I love Hallmark
so funny.
Movies.
You have like the toughest exterior. Like you give off such like tough vibes, and then you watch Hallmark movies. What is this? Explain what life is.
Oh yeah.
I think there is like some kind of comfort that is like associated with those type of movies, because it's like even though it's cheesy, it's always gonna end well.
Well, I guess maybe that's what I need in my life, so it ends well. Yeah. I like them though. They're fun. They're like feel goods.
Yeah, feel good movies. Yeah. Hallmark movies. It was kind of recently that I figured out that Hallmark is also, it's the card company. It's where you buy cards and you see Hallmark on the back of it.
Yes, Hallmark on the back. Yeah.
Which makes sense because it's cheesy.
Feel good.
It's feel good.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. What do you think are the biggest misconceptions about people in the LGBTQ community?
Elaborate. Misconceptions. Like, what do you mean?
Misconceptions like false beliefs. Like people believe this about gay people, but it's not true. That's what like a misconception is.
I feel like there's like a good amount of them, but like, I'm not sure.
I got one.
Okay, what's yours?
I realized that a lot of people still think that like being gay is a choice.
Oh, like that. Okay.
Yeah.
That's definitely one.
Like, here's the thing, y'all. I'm gonna just say it to you because y'all dumb.
You
or like
have
you can
choice.
control it, and I'm like,
There was something recently on the show that I've been recently watching where it's like this guy, he's bisexual and his parents don't agree like with that way like of living like at all. And his father was like, well then you just choose a girl.
yeah.
Like just choose to fall in love with a girl. Yeah, I was like, I don't know if that's how it worked.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, kind of bringing it back to something kind of recent and real world. In Florida, they were trying to do that, like ban all like gay books. Because they were worried that if kids were introduced to books that had like that kind of LGBTQ representation, they would become gay.
But yeah, but like it's definitely like it's not it though. Like
that'd be like if here's the thing. Let me give you an analogy.
I mean, I watch tons of Hallmark. That doesn't mean I'm gonna become straight overnight. Like,
see, that's a good example. Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah, I'm not gonna become a Hallmark movie overnight. It's just not how it's gonna work.
I'm gonna quote you.
I'm not gonna want to just go fall in love with some guy that I don't even know rides a horse.
Honestly, yeah, it's always the guys on the horses.
The G stands for gay. What would you like me to do?
Whoa, what?
Really, it's just inclusion, okay? Inclusion of all. Never again. Okay. Can we restart?